Hey there, it's Rusty Nelson. We're talking watercolor today and going over some of the things that I'm going to be dropping this coming week and hopefully kind of reviewing what we're learning and going over stuff. So if you're new to this channel, that's what this is. I'm here just kind of blabbing away and connecting with my audience and just talking, touching base, see what's happening. Feels like my class up at the university. So it's about the same response as well. So as in verbal response, I get really better response via comments than my students give me up at the university. So I'm calling you guys out. So if you're watching this, you need to start making some comments in the Zoom chat when we're live streaming and stuff. So anyway, let's see here. What is going on? This week, let's see. Today is Monday. I'm filming on Monday. I'm dropping this video on Wednesday. So Monday, I dropped a little drawing tutorial. It's a quick little sketch of a paper bag, a crumpled paper bag. And it's a standard little drawing exercise that we give our foundation drawing students. A lot of times it's done with charcoal instead of pencil, but I did it in pencil. But it's a good way to evaluate shapes and get the right shapes and the right forms in planes, I guess. The planes on the crumpled bag, because when you crumple it up, each one of those crumples is a different plane change, and it catches the light differently. So that's really why that exercise is given, just so the students learn how to see the shapes and then assign a proper value to it, whether or not it's a flat value or maybe it's a gradiated value or it gets darker and goes to lighter or whatever. Just getting the overall sense of contrast and value range established using those planes. So it's definitely different than trying to shade a sphere where you're trying to keep everything nice and round and smooth looking, especially if it's a shiny ball or a sphere like that. It's a different, a little more sharper, more angular type of mark making, and the direction of your mark is going to be very important. So that was definitely the thing I'm dropping on Monday. On Saturday, last Saturday, I dropped a tutorial of painting stones and some wood textures on a scene with, it was like a big stone house with big old clunky rock face with the old weathered antique door, one of those doors that's just rough wood planks. So it was a quick demo on painting watercolor textures as well. So yeah, I've been focusing on a lot of really fundamental things since the beginning of the year. I need to get back into doing some of my figure drawing, full body tutorials on the drawing side. I want to do kind of a color face, attempt a portrait. I've been practicing some portraits using other methods and techniques as well, and kind of honing my skills up for those tutorials. So this will give me a little breathing room so I can practice on that. So we've worked with Loomis and we have worked with Riley so far on just learning how to construct faces and heads and that. So they have been pretty popular videos. Actually, they've been some of my more popular videos on the channel, has been the ones about drawing people and faces. So there is I think a demand for people wanting to know how to do that, and it's good because really those drawing skills and abilities, even though that's a pretty compound, complex drawing skill set, the drawing ability and just being able to see shapes and rough in a scene drawing on your watercolor paper and in preparation of a watercolor is a good skill set. And depending upon what type of an artist you are, your drawings, when you sit down to prep a watercolor, may be really loose. You want to do all the work and everything with the watercolor, or maybe you're learning and you don't yet have that confidence in all your watercolor techniques. You need a good base drawing that's pretty well established and developed. So there's levels of stylistic choices, confidence in your abilities, and all those things that go into the decisions as to what you're doing with watercolor, with your drawing and everything. So I got a bird. I got some birds I want to get done and get started on. So I made some comments in my last Talking Watercolor episode about I hadn't made any progress on my 2025 goals, trying to get started, figuring out some way of maybe trying to monetize, make some a little more money from the channel, if that's possible, and without necessarily throwing everybody under the bus and all of a sudden charge a ton of money for the tutorials I'm doing. I'm not going to do that. So, and one of the ideas I threw out there was maybe doing a live stream, and I got some good comments bounced back at me on that idea. So I thought one was pretty funny. It says, yeah, you might as well do that. You'd be great at it. Since your videos already are real close to live streaming anyway, because I don't edit out any of my mistakes. I'm not sure. I wonder what that meant. So I'm thinking I do show the mistakes as I'm painting my demos and stuff. So actually my videos are about 10 times more polished than in some of my demos I do up at the university with the students. So I do edit, and I do try to fix any egregious mistakes and things, especially when I have a lot of slip of the tongues, or I'm stumbling along too far. I know I have a lot of pauses when I don't know what I'm going to say. So I have my bullet points here listed on the table that I'm kind of referring to. But anyway, let's see. Oh, that's what I was doing. Going back over and really looking at what we've accomplished since the start of the year with the basic things, drawing basic shapes, 2D shapes, and learning how to add the value and the modeling to those 2D shapes to make them look three-dimensional, whether it's like a sphere where you're putting that gradient across the surface of the sphere, if it's a reflective texture, if it's a rough texture. Wood textures, definitely been focusing on that in the last week. But that's really all of the skills, those basic fundamental things that you have to get pretty well adept at to be able to translate that onto a piece of paper for an object to look real, I guess, or believable. And realistic isn't necessarily always what you're striving for. You might want something stylistic, but you're still using those basic principles and elements that are available to an artist when they're doing that kind of thing. Form, 3D modeling, yeah. The shapes, the planes on a cube to create the illusion of three-dimension space, overlapping. What else have we been? Oh, and it really ultimately it boils down to mark making, just getting confident with being able to make marks in a variety of ways to represent whatever it is you need to represent as you're doing it. So anyway, that's where we're at. I think we're about ready to kick off and get into more scenes again and doing various things, doing some more demos. Start in with some landscapes and maybe some structures, buildings and architecture. They're just essentially geometric shapes in perspective, and that's another thing that everybody needs to work on, is to work on developing their understanding of 1-point, 2-point, and 3-point perspectives. So it just takes a lot of work, a lot of practice to get good at this type of stuff. And if you stay persistent, make some improvement each day you're sitting down and doing it. And that is a key thing too. Do something every day, whatever it is. Even if it's just quick studies and sketches, you're not sitting down to make any artwork or anything. Just sit down and put some pencils and ink to a paper, some watercolor washes, whatever. Just do it daily and you're going to improve immeasurably just with that 15, 20 minute, an hour's worth of time you spend on it every day. So don't work big yet. If you're just getting started and learning all of these things, there's a lot of different things to juggle and make decisions about. Oh yeah, throw color into it as well. I've even had some comments concerning, the color wheel, developing a color wheel and using it as a guide to help you make decisions about color and when you want to use colors. and or when you want to tone the colors down and go into neutrals and things like that. So color is, I've said this in the past as well, that color is an 800-pound gorilla. When that's introduced into a course, everybody just kind of spirals out of control for about a week or two as they are trying to wrestle it in. So the best thing to do there is just kind of introduce a limited palette as you're working. Just don't go crazy with color. Just kind of start introducing it and figure out how you can use two colors together, whether they're harmonious or contrasting, or a primary or a secondary couple of colors that you can use in your piece, and see how those things interact. And you just slowly build a visual vocabulary about color and what works well together. So do that. I think you'll be making wonderful progress in 2025 as it comes down to getting up to speed. I really am heartened by the fact that people have gotten their supplies back out. They may have set them aside for years and years and years, but they've kept them, and they've drug them out of the closet and started drawing and painting again after watching some videos. So I am glad that I have managed to get some people inspired to get going again with their artistic journey, something that I think will bring a lot of satisfaction, a lot of value to life. As if you're approaching retirement like I am, I really do think this is something that will give you a lot of pleasure and occupy your mind, keep those synapses firing, and yeah, just have fun doing it. So anyway, well, I have really not much more about this. I've gone over this week what people have said, so I think I've covered everything I typically cover in Talking Watercolor. So if you got any value out of today's little chat, let me know. Give me a like and a subscribe. Head over to my Patreon page if you want to support the channel with some a cash infusion. Help me keep enthused and going on this. And I promise I'm looking into the whole live stream situation and seeing what I'm going to do with kind of the limited setup. I've dropped some money on this rig and everything since getting started, and it's still not enough. I still need to get some more equipment and things to be able to do, I think, to do a live stream properly. But I'll give it a try and see how it works with what I have right now. So I just need to kind of schedule what would be a good time. So I'm thinking sometime maybe on maybe a Saturday afternoon or something like that. So we'll see. Anyway, I was doing my closing. How did I get off track like that? So give me a like and subscribe. We'll see you next week. And keep drawing, keep painting. Bye-bye.